On this edition on July 12th, 2025, we want to talk right down in a language that human beings can easily understand. Today's show is called Chakras. Why and what? Well, that term was also in India. It's the reason why they put a dot on the top of their head, in the front of their forehead. You probably just thought it was fashion, right? A lot of people from India understand the terminology chakras or chakra. It is the temple to the soul, bro. And it's a little bit more deeper than just saying it like that. I'm going to try my best to make sense of chakra. And you have a chakra, everyone. The problem is we rely on religion and religious people's beliefs to educate us. I'm going to tell you something. If you look at the average man or woman on what they're teaching today, they're just teaching a book. No one is trying to connect to their inner self. Because once you start to connect to your inner self, you will never be the same. You will never have foolishness and bickering and getting angry at someone because they don't like your post or because they don't like what you said. Man, you're going to be so past that. I'm going to talk about in science and in reality where being with a gay man with another man, we're not trying to tell you you're wrong, bro. We're going to show you that the universe tell you it's wrong. Being with another woman, with a woman, the universe, I'm going to show you why there's such an off balance with that. And that's why there's so much confusion. That's why America has to be put to death, because most of this started in America. I'm not telling you that there's not gay folks in Dubai, Qatar, and Africa. I'm saying America glorifies Sodom and Gomorrah. And this is one of the reasons why that theatrical had to happen. But America is going to get a little bit worse. But I think y'all think America is just going to blow up and be done with a salt of dust like the elders teach, but the elders not connected. The elders is book created, but they're not ancestors created. You understand? It's a totally different ball game. I've been at this for damn near 20 years. And I started off with this camp thing, and I just knew something wasn't right. So when I went solo and worked on myself, and I found out a lot of things that they were lying about, and they're connected to the Khazars, the Ashkenaz, who are the so-called Jewish folk. The rabbis pay them handsomely to mislead. But there's a price to pay when you're doing that, okay? When you try to destroy another man's consciousness and his chakra because of what you believe, and you try to destroy him through videos and mockery, you got a price to pay for that. And some of that is not forgivable. See, that's what y'all need to understand too. Some of this mocking and laughter that you're doing, it's not forgivable. The ancestors not going to forgive you. You're just going to be in the wilderness for the rest of your life. Whenever you do go to the other side, you'll never wake up. You'll just be in the wilderness in a circle. And you'll be surprised how many people, especially of Negro descent, it's just in a wilderness as I speak, look just like where they came from, the same house, the same atmosphere, even the country. And they just been walking in circles for the last 100 years. Or we can say 50 years, 75 years, however many years you want to put on it. And they've never woken up or awakened. They're just a circle. And a lot of these people are not gathered with others. You're going to be on your own journey, and you cannot wake up. You don't need food. You don't need water. You can't die. You're just just walking in circles. There's nobody there but you. You can't go crazy. It don't matter. You can't die. So let me just try to get into some of this, right? Okay. Okay. What is a higher self? When we talk about self-esteem, that word comes from a chakra, a spirituality term that our elders cannot break down. Now, instead of just buying Bibles and strongholds, there's theology that people was reached into their consciousness, and they wrote great definitions of who we are, but those books are shunned upon, that they never be talked about. These elements of truth, they was connecting to their ancestors, and it was told truth, but you never hear about it. Anything they pump in the public is something that's been convoluted, that you would never get to your inner self by just reading the Bible. I'm not telling you it's not going to tell you some things, but that's not your chakra. You never get to the chakra of just Bible and Stronghold Dictionary. The books that been before us, the literature, the men and women who's reached a chakra, those books are shunned upon because you don't understand it. So you go with something that's comfortable. You go to scriptures. It's comfortable. When people talk about chakra, first thing that's going to castrate your belief, that's the all-seeing eye, man. That's Illuminati. Did you know Illuminati mean illuminate ones? We made that terminology. Did you also know that we taught about the third eye, the horus, the chakra? We taught all of this, man. They took our teachings and twisted it on us. And now when you see the all-seeing eye, you run. I'm not telling you to do it and take pictures. Satan is a master of disguise. So he made you run from the all-seeing eye when we was the one to illustrate the all-seeing eye. I told you I'm gonna lay something on you today. Some of y'all will accept it, and some of y'all going to write in the comments and be angry about it. You might even go to my Instagram and say a few syllables, but I'm so done with trying to prove anything to any man. I'm past that theory. My whole objective in life is making sure I'm on point with my ancestors, the universe, and Yah. So what y'all don't understand, man, y'all missing out trying to go through debates. Now, I'll say a few syllables here and there, but for it's me going back and forth like I used to do, because somebody in their feelings and they don't quite understand what I'm saying because they don't understand chakra, man, all I can say is, do you, boo-boo. Let's get to it. When you talk about self-esteem, you're talking about a higher self. We're talking about the wisdom, intuition, expression, and love. Now, when you write that out, it will come to a 6-point star. Why is it important that I'm saying it this way? Because the man of evil have taken that 6-point star and made it his own to symbolize a worship of Satan, which is nothing but Saturn. I'm going to try to make sense of this stuff because I know a lot of times I go fast, but catch it and go back when you have to and listen to it again. I'm not telling y'all to put 6-point stars on until you have a full understanding of what it represents, because it can lead you to Moloch and Nimrod, to evil things. So please don't put this on your shirt. But having the understanding of what it represents will have you with great clarification. You understand? So when you talk about self-esteem, we're talking about a spirit. Self-esteem is wisdom, intuition, expression, and love. You understand? Those are 7. When you get to a 7, what's a 7 point? 7 points is a 6 points, will look like a 6-point star. And why is that? It symbolizes something more higher than what man can understand. So when Satan put his minions on the planet, he had to make you believe that the say Illuminati is evil. You get it? 6-point star. Oh, stay away. When people are trying to put you in fear, you have to go discover why. So unveiling all of this truth, it's not for you to go wear a 6-point star, but you can see why Satan didn't want you to unveil, because it brings you to your chakra. chakra. And when you get to the chakra, you start connecting to the universe recognizes you, your ancestors start to lead you. Because man is upside down in his own world. That's why when he writes his story. You understand? Now watch this. What's the lower self of esteem? Okay. Power, food, and sex. What is consisted of a lot of power? Money, cars, hoes. Constituents means friends, colleagues. You get what I'm saying? And what are people reaching for today? Power. They love food. Everything is food. Look at all the food people on the internet network talking about this tastes good. Y'all need to go buy this. Food has become more powerful than life. And sex is everything. I want you all to understand something. I hope that you can relate today. All right. So I dotted things down. So I'll be going back and forth, but I'm going to try my best to make sense of this. And when I get ready to break down that term about man and woman, I hope that you can understand there's going to be a lot of gay people to hear this and really try to figure themselves out, because you was never born gay. It's a curse that you under. And I hope that when you hear the terminology, why a man cannot be with a man and a woman can't be with a woman, you're going to understand that it's theoretically impossible to go forward. Everything that you produce, you will curse. But I'm going to try to explain as I go on. Okay. I found out so much stuff. Okay. All right. So let's go to talk about some chakras, right? Now, a lot of these names that we know as humans was put before us not to go explore as astrologists, but it's a reason. But when NASA came along, they made you think, oh, that's Mars, Mercury. When they put these names before you, it's a reason behind all of it. So let me try to make sense of it. When we talk about Moon, Mercury, Venus, we're not necessarily talking about planets, guys. We're talking about a spirit. These are spiritual realms. When we talk about Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, we're talking about air, sun, fire, Mars, water, Jupiter, Earth, Saturn. Okay? Now, also Saturn is a symbolicness of Satan, because Saturn represents Earth and Satan really rules Earth. I hope you can catch it, right? Okay, let's go to the spirit and matter. Spiritual connection, intuition, physical ability. You have the power to change anything in your life because you have physical ability, even psychic ability to change any outcome in your world. It doesn't matter if you're behind in rent. It doesn't matter if you're being incarcerated. It doesn't matter if you was in a foster care home and adopted. You could change your situation in the blink of an eye. You are the power source as a human being. Your spirit is so powerful, but you don't understand it because you're hooked on phonics. You're hooked on the lower self-esteem of power, food, and sex. So you can't see the wisdom, intuition, expression of love. You got too much other things that you're trying to conquer, being a hip-hop star, being a model. There's nothing wrong with having a great career, guys, but when you're around these people, they're vibrating very low. All they're thinking about is power, food, and sex. They can't have you around people that's thinking about wisdom, intuition, expression, and love. Oh, no, they got to break that. Communication is self-expression. Love is inner place. Power is self-love. Sexuality, creativity, grounding survival. What's the power of surviving? Of survival. Your fingers and your hands tell a lot about how to connect to the universe and to your ancestors that came before you. That's all dealing with chakra, okay? I'm going to try my best, man, to get to this. Lord have mercy. Okay. Now, I know when y'all read the scripture, some of y'all really deep into it. And what's the biggest thing people are talking about today? The 144. All right. And some of y'all think the 144 is representing the 12 tribes of Most High. And that's not what it is. You see the confusion? But let me try to make sense of it. So what is the real 144? Wait a minute. The real 44, the petals, the roots, the scala, the solar, the heart, the throat. So what does all that represent? What's that? I don't know how to tell you this, but we've been told that 144 is going to be the 12 tribes, and they're going to come down and they're going to kill man and they're going to, restore. That's what is said in the scriptures. Would I throw you off if I told you that the 144 is you? The ancestors can't deal with everybody. That's going to be a group of people who's picked individually, who understand this chakra. But we was told if we follow this and we don't eat pig and we, do our teachings, that Most High will pick the 144 according to that. If you really think about that theology, that's too easy. You know how many pretenders we got out here acting like they love the Most High? You know how many pretenders pretending they are of Israelite descent and they hate it? So you think it's going to be that familiar, that easy? No. You have to add up all these numbers, man. Let's add them up. The 144. Now, the 144 is really 144,000. Let's go. Add first 5 petals. The root equals 4. The sarskral equals 6. The solar equals 10. The heart equals 12. The throat equals 16. The third eye, 2 petals, will be 48 times 2, 96. 96 plus 48, 144. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And I can't, I'm not going to be able to hold your hand on this one. Either you get it or you don't. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just giving it to you raw with no explanations. Okay? And there's an article that reads, Jehovah's Witnesses believe exactly 144 faithful Christians will go to heaven. This is a frequency you need to achieve in order to go from the root to the crown chakra. I said that in the beginning, but this is an article that was, and that's been taught through Christianity, through Baptist, through Catholic, Protestants. We've been taught, be good, dress accordingly. What does the Most High care about if I wear slacks or not? I want y'all to really think about that for a second. He gonna send a woman to the hell gates because she put on pants and not a skirt. Who made this crap up? Once again, man, his story. Do y'all understand anything I just said? We've been taught that the 144 is going to be a certain favor to the Most High, and He's going to put us in certain areas, and that's going to be. I read it. I taught some of that. 10,000 per town, 5,000 per town. No, you could take over the world anytime you want because you are the 144. It doesn't matter if you're looking at Yashkara crazy right now because y'all are so Bible driven. That's why I told y'all. Remember a long time ago, I used to say, I can't give y'all this, man. Y'all ain't ready. And that was years ago. And I just believe it's little bitty bites at a time. Because now I'm at a point where it doesn't matter. I've done my job. And now I'm going over and beyond because it doesn't matter if you don't like me or if you don't like my teachings. I'm pleasing my ancestors right now because I'm on a mission, because I will be going through another dimension whenever they decide. That could be soon, later. It doesn't matter. So it's my job to drop this on you, whether you accept it or not, because I'm not on the level you are right now. Now, I don't know you from a can of paint. Maybe some of y'all hear me and we both connecting. You say, Yash, I'm there. Then you are the person that the Most High going to put before me, and we're going to connect and we're going to go to the next destination. But it's not about name calling because I don't know if the ancestors approve of you. I've heard that all my life. The 144 going to go to heaven and they're going to be spiritual power. You have spiritual powers right now. But man lied to you. They made you believe that you got to be in this 144 club and the Most High going to give you this spiritual power. And then Peter, Paul, did you know that their names are not even Peter and Paul? So that's a whole nother world. So let's just keep to the chakras, okay? This is just something that I know you never heard, but we need to know this. There's a frequency in everything we do. But we have not understood the frequency. Now, I gave you a scale on what to add. And when you add up the pedestals, the root, the sacral, y'all say that right, sacral, solar, and heart and throat, that's all you. That's going to your chakra, man. And when you add up your third eye, the crown, it's going to total to 144. Now, I gave you the numbers. Okay, so let's continue because I don't want to stay on one part. I got a few more things I want to hit on. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Everything that we speak on, everything that we say is words of action, but we don't know how to use those words. Certain things you say every day is crippling you. Let me read this. It said there are actual 7 vowels, and each vowel corresponds with one of the chakras. When chanting the yods correctly, it creates the phonetic sound of hum is known as the sound of creation. And when we say it, we are aligning the 7 creational energies within our energetic body, or should we say etheric body. Each chakra vibrates on a different frequency, and you can listen to those frequencies to help balance each chakra. And that's why you see some people when they meditate, they go, It's a reason for that. It's not funny, it's understanding. Now, I haven't been into the humming, but I'm beginning to understand the hum of how we chant, not chant, but there's certain velocities in our I always say, and our voice that will open up a whole nother pineal gland once we understand it. That's why people become some untouchable. You have the power right now to move anything. Man, you can move furniture in your house. But when you open up your pineal gland to the point of you can control, move cars, you can move people, you know you're not going to stay here long, right? Because our ancestors are going to move you to another universe. So what does that mean in essence? You won TikTok. Now I use that as a to be facetious, but when I say you won TikTok, I mean you conquered it. Some of us have to die and keep coming back until we understand our chakra too. It's just not about going to college, guys, getting educated, making money, and living your best life and traveling. That's the lie man told you. They have to keep you entertained so that you'll never understand the real reality of life. All the symbols that you go eat understand the chakra. So why is it important for the chakras to be at all your fast food restaurants, all your entertainment sources? Because it's dumbing you down. It can't let you know how to control your chakra and to know your higher self. Okay? The crown of your head is chakra, the third eye is chakra, the throat is chakra, the heart is chakra, the solar plex of in the middle of your stomach is chakra, the sacral, the abdominal area is chakra, and the root is chakra, which is your genitalia. It's just a reason why when you have sex with people, it's more spirit than anything. You might think it's an orgasm, but you have to be careful who you have sex with because you're releasing so much of your chakra, your energy. It could change your life. Okay? McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Burger King, Wendy's, all understand chakra and how they position their words, how they write their symbols on their food. Every time you eat their food, it's taking you to another place. And you never can understand who you are. It keeps drifting you away. Now, once you understand this, if you can bite a piece of pizza if you want to, because you understand the symbolism, what it's doing. But most of people don't. Excuse me. I'm just looking at my notes here. Let me just read something. I can make sense of it. Our crown chakra is a universe of knowing, cosmic, I believe I've said this right, cosmic connections. The source of enlightenment. Now, some call it the God. See, a God is, what is a God? Now, when celebrities say God is good, they don't mean themselves. Because you've been told you are God, but there's a true definition to that because you are your master. God means master. So when they say God is good, they don't mean themselves as good. They mean a person who gave them this deal, this aura, this understanding of this team they on, okay, of Satanism. They're not talking about anything of a chakra. They're giving praise to an entity, okay? So let's continue. Right. So your crown chakra is the top of your head. And you being the master of your own source, enlightenment, gateway to other dimensions. But you'll never get there because you're relying on man and you're relying on education and physical people to get you to that next level. And they can't do it because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The third eye, physical ability, channeling, telepath, I would say telepathy, external travel. You can travel through your mind at any time. Visions, connections to higher self. Have you ever had those? I've been having them all the time. I told you I don't know how many visions I've seen the other side. Several times. This is when now you go into another level. throat chakra, communication. What's the other? Self-expression, lightning speaking. That's why when you speak, you see your throat, the what come out of your mouth can be intimidating. It can be spirituality as well. So I use my voice for the greater good of Yah and my ancestors. That's why we have to be mindful how we sing songs and what we say lyrically, even if it's spoken word, because your voice, your throat is a chakra and it can influence people. So you're responsible for more than you know. A heart chakra, love, whatever, understanding, trust, hope, balance, forgiveness. A solar plex is personal power, will energy, metabolism, what is called self-esteem, social, and happiness. Solar, this is a part of you. How many times have you been around people, you can read their energy, you can start feeling that, and you have to get away from them because they're going to bring you down. And how many times have when you start to speak in a crowd, people just crave to you, you're a beacon of light. Their light is still dim. They have a light too, but you know what? Some people light will never turn on because they're too negative. And it's not your job to keep trying to pound on them and wake them up. They have to be wanting to be woke up. The root chakra is stability, physical needs, security, material. Let me go to this where let me say this real quick before I go somewhere else. Did y'all know how the 6-point star was created? I told you today it's going to be a really nice show, and it's going to be some things you're going to gravitate to. You're going to share this show, and you're going to sit down and talk to each other. How did the 6-point star come about? Because I know we're going to go back to Nimrod and talk about Solomon. That's not how it came about. We were the teachers of the 6-point star. We was the teacher of Illuminati. We was the teacher about the all-seeing eye, but we was in good intentions and we understood. And when we did certain things, it was all in respect. Satan took it and twisted it. The 6-point star comes from masculinity and femininity. You probably say, what? Yes. The masculinity is above and the female femininity is below. That's why they made that picture above and below. But they have certain things that told the truth, but a lot of it's just theatrical. So let me say that again. The masculinity symbol is a triangle that's above. The femininity is a triangle that's below. But if you put the two together, you have a 6-point star. And that 6-point star represents master, which they call God. Are we understanding? See, that's why I say the black woman is God. No, the man and woman is God. But they both master their own domain. That's why when a man and a woman connect, they cleave. It's power with a man and a woman cleaving together. When a man and a man, that's not possible. When a woman and a woman, it's not possible. I'm going to explain that down the road. So I'm just trying to make sense of it. Hold tight. All right. Let me try to, the unbalanced chakras. Overusing or incorrect usage of the energy centuries will result in unbalanced chakras, which block the flow of energy within the electromagnetic field of the body. The results in a lower frequency as you are pulling too much energy out of your field. For example, if you are over sexual, you abuse your scleral sacral chakra, which is weakening the field. So what does that mean? Let's say you're a porn star. That's why these people are lower. They can't think straight. If you oversex the same sex, a man should not be putting a penis in his anal, but that's the whole nother world. I'm not here to correct you. I'm just here to advise you, okay? Okay, let's break down what the Baphomet symbolizes. So it's a reason for that Baphomet. So I'm trying to make sense. So I hope y'all understood how the 6-point star was put together. Did you miss it? As I told you, 6-point star is a triangle above masculinity. That's why men are above women. And the femininity is a triangle that's below. Put them together, you have master, which they call God. So it makes a lot of sense why these people like to wear 6-point stars, but someone don't know the definition of it. So what happens? Satan took that righteousness of ours and made it into the Baphomet. Do you understand? And he called it above, below, and he said he has both genitalias. You get where we're going with this. So stop running from things that we created. And Satan has to keep you in fear. So when people in fear, they be like, all seeing eye, oh, I'm messing with that. Did you know that we created that? If Satan can keep you away from anything that Yah created, you'll never get to your chakra, man. You'll never understand what I'm telling you right now. So stop being afraid of it and try to have an understanding of it. So by the Baphomet symbology, the Baphomet has a goat head and symbolizes the animal nature of man. The Baphomet is holding the right hand up and the right hand path ascending to the left hand down for dissension. The Baphomet is not a real entity. It symbolizes an individual's mindset. The Baphomet is both male and female, symbolizing division and version of Yah's creation. So what does this mean? The 6-point star is man above and woman below. And they put it on a go head. Why is this been the face of evil? It's called fear. If I can show you the goat, you'll be in fear for the rest of your life. And what happens if you see that goat? You're not going to even inquire about it. You're not going to try to get the understanding of it. You're going to run from it. And Satan knows to keep the people of Yah in fear. They'll never understand the chakra or how to control anything on this planet. And that's why Satan rules. The minute people start controlling their chakra, Satan is done. This is why the entities always, when you're getting close to understand, they put things before you. They know you like to smoke weed. They know you like big booty hoes. They have people from the music industry calling you, making you a deal. So they got to get you away from what you're teaching and what you're becoming. Doors are not opening by Yah. Satan opened up doors to keep you alarmed and dumb. But when the spirits that be is with you, Satan can't touch. He wants to intervene, but he has to just sit there and let you do your thing. All right. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff today. This will not be a part 3 series. It's a one show. I want my shows to be better and better. And I think this is going to be one of my great shows because I can guarantee you 80% of people hear this show today are going to debunk it. That's what they do. They're going to fight this tooth and nail, and that's perfectly fine. The way you was raised and the way you're being taught today, that's fine. You'll never understand your higher versus your lower. You just don't understand that, because even people in the camps, they're not driven by anything but the lower esteem. They don't have a higher esteem, which is wisdom, intuition, expression, and love. They're based on power, food, and sex. That's why when you come into these camps, it's important for you to get a title, chief captain, supervisor, general, titles. That's a power trip. See what I'm talking about? So it is what it is. So I gave y'all that breakdown on how the 6-point star was created. The Baphomet symbolizes the higher self versus the lower self. Watch this part. 3 brains control the 3 sections of the body. There's a higher brain, a mammal, and a reptilian. See, Lord have mercy. Anybody on this planet has a capability of being a reptilian. And I hope it makes sense. Hold on. I'm trying to find my place here. What do I mean by that? All right, let's just go. The top of the mind, the mental heaven head, you have a chakra that leads you to righteousness. There's an earth heart of emotional. And that's why you always say Jesus. Jesus, that was embedded in you, because the name is not Jesus, but that's embedded in you from your family, from generation to generation. Hell and heel is a physical body of Satan. That's what you grew up on. That's what you was taught. But all of this is teachings. A reptilian, you can take a normal person and make him into a reptilian. It's not hard to do. There's no chemicals they give you. You can literally take a person, higher self versus lower self, and if they get around the right people, they can totally turn you into a reptilian. All right, hold tight. So let me go find this other one. I want to explain this to y'all real quick, Tim. All right, let's talk about the hand and feet, because the hand and feet is chakras. Some stuff I knew, but sometimes you need a deeper understanding. I say this, there's a lot of men and women that passed away when they came into the understanding of the chakra, and they started connecting to their ancestors. These men was given literature on truth, but these books are shunned upon. We are human beings. We was once here, but our light was dim. Now that our light is brightened, we can't get all of this out of a Bible. It just doesn't exist. So once we start connecting to the universe guides us and shows the people that came before us. They give us literature every day. But when you start talking about the all-seeing eye and the Baphomet, you ain't going to buy those. You're like, that's not for us. So you're going to go get the newest King James and a Strongholds Dictionary. But stop running from the all-seeing eye. Stop running from the 6-point star. A lot of those types of books is maybe 10 or 12 written. They're not all over the place. You can very seldom find them. That's the realest shit you ever come across. So what happens when I start reading all this chakra? I begin more enlightening. The universe knows I'm awake. The trees, the earth, even told in the rodents of the world know you're awake. I told y'all, once you become so chakra, like those rodents want to get next to you. I'm not telling you to make them your pet, man. I'm telling you, you become a beacon of light. Everything that has life want to get next to you. But you can't have that. You got to, it is what it is. But watch this, hands and feet chakra, right? All right, so let's make sense of it. The solar plexus is the thumb. The heart is the index finger. The throat is the middle finger. The root is the ring finger. The sacral is the I may be saying that wrong, but that's the best pronunciation I can come up with it. Sacral, sacral is the finger, the crown is the palm, the third eye is the wrist point. But when you hear about the third eye, you run. Because I know I used to run. I heard people talking about third eye. Put on, oh man, we taught all of this, what I'm telling y'all, guys. They took everything that we were and made it evil. So when we hear about this, we run. Don't run from it no more, man. You know damn well if you put an all-seeing eye on your shirt, everybody in the comments and everybody that's black will say, man, nigga worshiping the devil. That's the most ignorant shit in the world. We taught the Horus, the all-seeing eye. Oh my God. And when we say, what does and I ask people, what does the all-seeing eye represent? Because I was ignorant too, guys. Shit, I ain't know better. But man, when I stumbled on this, I said, I can't tell them this. You have to give this shit to y'all little by little. And then hopefully your chakra is so powerful. Now you say, wait a minute. Everything that I was afraid of, let me reopen that again. And watch how sharp you become. Okay? The all-seeing eye represents your chakra, man. That's all it represents. It represents your pineal. That means you're totally awakened. It has nothing to do with the industry. Industry just made it evil. Tried to deter you from understanding. When they put the circle around the eye, they ain't doing, they're not representing the Most High. They're taking our literature and, excuse me, they're taking the literature that was before us and mocking us. You understand what I just told you? When you see Drake, all the greats and Madonna and shit and Prince, when they put that circle on their eye, like with their hand, you saying, look at that, man. He got 3 fingers up, 666, 666. Not a bad ordeal. I don't know if I can get to it. I'm going to try and get to that today. But the circle around that, they're mocking us. You probably say, Yash, how are they mocking us? Because that means chakra. You everything of wisdom of this earth that you come to know, now you can start leading people. Because once your chakra is open, you become your 144. That's not a magnificent bunch of people that's going to be lined up as the 144 and flying like Hancock. That's a fairy tale. You are the 144 when you start to open up your pineal gland of your chakra, and you have the control. You can change anything. This is why we were shunned upon and so feared, because we knew how to control that. And now we're coming back to it. And that's what they don't want. So while we sit here worried about what Trump is doing and hoping he sends us a stimulus check, once you connect to the universe, you'll never need cash flow again. Because the universe is you, and the universe adopts you. The universe wants to give you everything you want. But the reason some of y'all can't get what you want, because you're going to do it for the wrong reason. That's why you have a hard time in life. All right, I'm going to say it again, then I'm going to go to the feet. The solar plexus is the thumb. So let me just say this, right? The 7 chakras are not limited to the spine, but extended their fluent influences to the hands and the manifest of the following associations. And this also goes to your feet. So let's go, I'll say it again. The chakra's just not in the middle. The controlling mechanism is just like an antenna. An antenna gives you all of this connections to get your Wi-Fi or whatever, you're pointed towards the cellular system, etc. Your bias is saying, wait, man, we're one big frequency. So your chakra starts in the middle of your forehead, or we can say brain. But your hands and feet all together, you just don't have to use them as fighting power, but the things that you can succumb and manifest into, it blows your mind. So the solar plexus is the thumb, the heart is the index finger, the throat is the middle finger, the root is the ring finger, the sacral is the finger, the crown is the palm, and the third eye is the wrist point. Okay. Let's go to the feet. Let me see. I want to read this. Okay. There exists a network of energy centers known as minor chakras in the feet. As above, so below. These minor chakras play a huge role in facilitating a wide range of energy inflow into the human body and consciousness. See, a lot of times y'all in y'all feelings, y'all believe, see, that's one thing. But once you understand your consciousness is awakening, but the facts is the chakra. Because a consciousness can be your deeper feelings of how you feel about something, but that's not factual. So it's okay to have a conscience, but that conscience had to be subliminally manifested through your chakra for perfect understanding. So let's go to the foot and chakras. The solar plexus is the big toe. The heart is the index toe. The throat goes to the middle toe. The third eye is the fourth toe. The sacral finds renaissance in the little toe. The crown, the middle of the soul. And the root, the back of the heel. So that's why when you ground, you walk around grounded, or you walk, you got these little shoes that can keep you grounded. I got these shoes that's like barefooted, but you can wear them as shoes. You've seen them with the toe print and shit. I'll walk with them in the store. It's a totally different atmosphere. What I mean by that, my feet feel like I'm barefooted. And I'm going to tell you something. Your feet is so used to you having rubber, your feet will try to fight you. What I mean by that, your feet like to be with rubber, like some type of sneaker or some type of shoe. It smiles, right? But the minute you start to ground, what's happening is the energy that's negative. Because when you walk with bare feet or when you walk with these shoes that have your feet print, you're walking in negative energy, right? And then negative energy tries to pound on your feet to make your feet hurt so you'll stop. So why does that hurt? Because once you start connecting to the ground, your chakra blossoms, your feet wakes up, your hands wake up, and you may be sore for a minute. And that's because the negative energy can't want you to wake up. They can't have you waking up. So you may say, damn, I hear what y'all saying. I bought some of them shoes because it's like have the footprint in them. And I walked to the store, I got out of my car, I walked in the store, grocery shopping. But man, my feet was hurt. That's the energy, baby. There's no pain, no gain. Your feet are hurting because you're changing and finding your chakra and you're getting ready to have a whole new world open. And the negative energy can't have that. So let's go. Did you hear that? Okay. I'm going to read this and stop. Watch this. One of the primary functions of the toes is to release the discharge any surplus energy that accumulates within the major chakras. Through our everyday activities, the body functions this excess energy and channeled into the earth, facilitating a grounding, I just said that, of our consciousness when the minor chakras and the feet operate harmoniously and are in alignment with major chakras. It establishes a connection, a consciousness connection and flow of communication between the earth energy grids and our own energy. So when you start to understand what I just said, especially with your bare feet, right? And you got these shoes that does not have rubber, but it have the toe print. You're what you're doing, man, is going back to the days of old. You're connecting to how we used to connect. And a lot of us do not have land. So on the land, we walked around barefooted every day. But some of y'all got nice sized yards. So when you go in your backyard, now if you got a dog that poops and pee, that's on you. But if you can get that in, put them feet on that dirt, bruh. Put that feet in them grass, and get you some shoes with toe prints and walk around the neighborhood like that. Go to the store like that. I'm just telling you, you're going to come back to what we was accommodating to, or what we were used to. The reason we don't feel nothing now, we can't think. We got rubber on 24/7. You got work shoes on 24/7. You got steel toes on 24/7. So why is it when you take your shoes off, your feet so tender? You walk around the house barefoot, it hurts. Your feet is so tender to the rubber, you have to wear some type of house shoe around the house because your feet hurt so much. We could at one time we could walk on razor sharp glass, our feet would never cut. Just some things to think about. And I don't know if I want to do a part 2, because I doubt if I'll be able to cover. And then again, I may not want to. Man, it's just so much damn information. Lord have mercy. Whoa. So I'm just, I've been saying that for a long time. When they made up the 7 planets, they was talking about a human body. You are the universe, man. Lord have mercy. I don't know if I can get all this out, so I'm just looking at it. If you spread your fingers apart, you're really a 6-point star. What do you mean? Your 5 fingers apart means water, earth, spirit, air, and fire. What does that represent? A 6-point star. Well, 5-point star, right? Have you ever thought about the change of the seasons? If you look at the change of the seasons, summer, spring, winter, fall, that's nothing but astrology. Huh? Yeah. Every season is astrology. You are a universe, but you don't even know it. So when a lot of times at night, you may see a gray moon, and you may see a yellow moon. That's there for you. It's trying to connect to you because you're a soul system within you. So when you see the yellow moon and you see another white, we say that's 2 moons. No. They're there for you. You don't have to start chanting, but start meditating when you see that. They're there for you, man. They're trying to connect with you, but you're running from them. When you see the sun, a sun is nothing but the soul of communication. When you see the so-called moon, it's the communication of the mind. You're running from these things. That's why a person of melanated, once the sun is out and you stand in it, you're not just getting vitamin D, you are refueling your chakra. When there's a full moon and they tell you this is what the evildoers do. When a full moon, they pray for a sacrifice because they know the universe is not with them. But let's go. Let's say there's a full moon. You can usually see it from afar if it looks grayish. That is communication factor right there. The earth is connecting with you every day. It's just that you run from it. Some of y'all are going to embrace this teaching today, and some of y'all are going to be lost in the sauce and fight it. Wow. You heard the song by Jay-Z called Holy Grail? See, these people are not really educated, but they have people around them that give them information. You heard that song about Jay-Z where Justin Timberlake was featured. Did y'all ever know what that mean? When Jay-Z made the song called Holy Grail, he's talking about magnetic electric. That's within you. But y'all just probably was bumping off of it like, yeah, that's cool. He came with it on that. Everything in his realm is about us. The Holy Grail, neck and skull. The reason why the Holy Grail is a cup is because the sun and moon create the holy fluid, Yah oil, and fill it up every month. So what that means is Christianity and Catholic tell you to drink the body of Christ and all that, which is ludicrous, but that comes from the Holy Grail. Okay. The Most High gave us everything here to be successful so that we can learn and teach and so we can go to the next dimension. You're not supposed to be here forever, man. You're supposed to be willing to go to the next dimension. Your Horus Sire self is a chakra, and you don't know how to use it. When they talk about Buddha, Buddha is talking about chakra. I was told all my life, man, that Buddha ain't nothing but the devil. No, it's not. Buddha is a high thinking of a high power of chakra. I used to run from Buddha, but I'm not a Buddhist. I'm just want y'all to understand. Nor would I still would not go buy a Buddha and put it in my house. I just wouldn't. But I understand it now. The reason I wouldn't put it in my house because you start to worship the stone and not the actual fact that you can control your own chakra. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm not going to get to all this. So let me just, I just will say this though. Everything that is put before us is to deceive us. Okay. Everything that was put before us is to deceive us. It is not here to help you. It is here to harm you. And if you don't understand these things, you can get with some of these people that understand what I'm telling you, and you can be on this. You can really be a twisted person. You don't need another man to give you millions of dollars to make you feel complete, to dress nice. You can get anything you want in this world without sacrificing your inner self to belong to some type of Satanist. And this is why Satan has to always intervene